Hi, welcome back to French Fries and Feelings. I am Justine,
And I'm Natasha.
and tonight we have a very, very special guest. Spuds, please give a round of applause for Miss Natalia Acevedo.
Woo. Okay, so Natalia, tell us a little about yourself and how you ended up on this crazy ass podcast with us.
So I am Natalia Acevedo. I am a photographer and I would say a serial entrepreneur. So I have been for the last, I feel like 2, 3 years, I've been exploring through a lot of networking events and kind of like getting myself out there and finding my lane and my people. And then that's how I ended up with you guys because I put out in the universe that I wanted to advocate for my craft and I wanted to let people know why photography is so important and how it centers us and it's such a big healing tool and how it marries just so many areas in our life that people just are not aware that they're taking for granted. So that's what I'm doing here, advocating.
I love that. And I love that you said like photography is healing.
Yes.
And I know like we had spoken a little bit before, and there was something that you touched on that literally clicked for me, and it made sense because you had said people don't realize that um photography and sorry, my dogs are happy now. Um that it goes hand in hand with like you don't realize when people pass away how important like photographs are.
Yes. Yes. It
So touch on that a little bit more.
So I feel like I don't like to open with that because it sounds so morbid, but eventually it ends to that. That's where it goes. And it's with any loss. So to kind of caveat into the rest of the mindset here, it's with any loss, any kind of grief, whether it's a person that lost life, a relationship that's no longer, whether it's divorce, whether it's the version of yourself that you miss that you admired at one point and you want to kind of like revisit that. So that's another point. It's just really capturing a moment that mattered that you didn't even know in that moment that it mattered as much as it will eventually. And then being able to revisit, creating that frequency. So, like, I used to love sci fi movies as a kid and anything that had to do with time travel and things like that. So, the words like frequency and kind of like channels and things like that kind of like come back to me as I kind of look at this in a very childlike way because I believe in it in such a finite way. And that's how I feel. And then whenever these big moments have happened, because now we're growing up, whenever these big moments have happened, what do you really need in that moment is that childlike channel, that moment of pause to say, this feels real, this hurt, this pain, this happiness, this moment, it feels real, and I need a way to validate. And I feel like photography really fills that void and that gap in those moments, and it really creates a beautiful way of, sometimes there's a lot of pain, but it kind of embraces that pain, and like it's a hug. It's a hug that you needed that you didn't know you had. And I want to bring awareness to it because with every loss of life for me, you run to the albums. You really do. And I never had more
Mhm.
clients than I did in COVID, unfortunately, because people were starting to realize that at a rapid rate, where now we're all home confined to whatever our fates are. And now we're scrolling. Now we're
Yeah.
looking for pictures. Now we're going through all these things, and everybody's complaining, especially to me, like my friends and family. I wish I took those pictures in so and so event. You were in such a pain, and you were really trying to get pictures of me, and now I'm here sitting having like a whole tantrum. And I'm like, it's important. It really is. You got to make the effort.
No, I love that for sure. So is that how you got started with photography, like during
No,
COVID? Okay.
no. So I started when I became a mom.
Okay.
When I became
Makes
a
sense.
mom, my son,
She's
he's
a
16 now.
mommy.
And I just realized that living first aren't enough. So like when he took his first, little walking and any little moment that I was just like, oh my God, there was a few of them that repeated itself because kids are kids and they patterns. But there was so many that you lived that one moment and it was lost and then it starts to fade. So I was like, if you have a camera handy, Nate is 16 now, so the phones weren't as cool as they are now. So I had to have like a whole camera or some kind of device near me, and I became so intentional with it. And then my husband, he was like, you're really putting a lot of time into this, and the pictures are coming out like actually gorgeous. So he was the one that put me on to my own talents that I didn't know I had yet. But the love for photography was already there. So those two things started to develop almost as I developed as a mom and kind of like more aware of the things that really mattered in life because it humbles you, it strips you. And it's like, you're living this fast-paced life, very selfish, self-centered, and then all of a sudden everything's so selfless. Everything matters so much more. There's so many things that are more valuable, and those moments when you live them once, you want them back. So the picture gives you that channel, frequency, travel back to that moment.
I love that. And I also want to know if you are going to sue Bad Bunny because De Mi Tira Más Fotos is basically exactly what you're saying. And it sounds like you did it before he did.
Let me tell you, when I saw, first of all, when I saw the DTF, whatever the acronyms are, I was like, what the hell is this? So when I started listening to it, I was like, Bad Bunny, yes. I was so happy because he has a platform to spread that word. I was sad I didn't make it to his concert,
Oh,
but
me too.
girl, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it from everybody else's phones. All of my friends went, like all of them. And then we saw it live on Amazon. So I got
Hmm.
to enjoy it to my own too, right? But man, I'm so happy he brought awareness to that because that's really what it's about. He really, really spoke to my heart. Like I wrote him a message as if we're friends. And I was like, let me tell you something about your topic. Yes, boy. Yes, you got it. You got it right.
I definitely want to say that I did go to his concert in Puerto Rico. And when he sang that song, it was so moving, and everyone in El Choli was crying. It was it was a magical experience, and some people even had pictures with them. Like
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
they would hold up the picture and like be with
Yeah,
their family. And so I can see how much photography and capturing these moments is healing, like you said. And there's a piece of mental health that is involved in photography as well.
huge. It definitely is because one, you could use it as a tool for an outlet. So whenever I'm stressed, if I'm really, really, really stressed, I like to take a photo walk. I take the camera, I'll take pictures of random things. It gets me into a space where I am releasing. It's almost like a exercise or therapy session, like those little things. Then when it's moments that is challenging, that you need to be grounded, I feel like you grab an album and that could do that too. Like there's so many things with photography that really does speak to mental health that I can tell you from experience that I've seen it. I've seen it heal and I've suggested it and I've seen it actually blossom into some kind of like coping mechanism for a lot of people. And it's needed because life is hard and sometimes we can't process certain things. And if you have something to kind of like hold you down for a bit, like a almost like a service animal or like I don't know, a comfy blanket, like whatever knickknack you need for those vulnerable moments is definitely something to consider as an option for sure.
So, can you tell us maybe an example of how you've been able to capture a photo and help someone heal?
Yeah, so I've taken a lot of families, right? So I've captured a lot of families, and unfortunately, in the years that I've had, some of the family members are no longer. So when that happens, I get the phone call from those clients to tell me that they appreciate it so much that I insisted for said person. So a lot of photographers are very pragmatic on how they set up their packages, and I get it because that's the hustle, right? But for me, it's like, all right, if we're gonna have an hour, you're paying for this hour. Do whatever you want with it. Bring grandma, bring Thea, bring your brother, bring whoever. Like, get everybody in there, take a few pictures, and let's do it. So I get a lot of people who are surprised by that option. And then when they do it, I also get the follow up phone call of appreciation because something ends up happening where they're just so happy that they had the opportunity because something went left a few years later and that person was there or that moment, or like that house, there was a fire in between somewhere where the house was no longer, and they took pictures in that house. Like, there's so much that happens in life, and the pictures are just a token of that journey, you know? So when the photos are there to prove it, when life happens, it always comes back full circle. So it always does come back. Did I answer that question? I feel like I lost it somewhere.
No, that was perfect. And I love that you incorporate family members that usually aren't part of like these family photos. So that I think gets lost in the mix a lot of times as well.
Sometimes when I do sweet 16s, sometimes mom is hustling, getting the girl beautiful, blah blah, and they'll do portraits, solo portraits before, and they always get surprised when I say mom is glamming up too, right? They're like, "What do you mean?" I say, "I'm not taking this. I'm not taking this project if mom isn't in it." And then they're like, "Okay, I'll try, whatever." So they think it's a bluff. I show up to the shoot and they're not ready for a picture, and I'm like, "Guess what's happening today? Yes, you're gonna be in this picture. If not, I'm leaving. I'm leaving because there's no way that I could, in good conscience, capture the milestone rite of passage of your gorgeous daughter today without the author. Like, and where's dad? Like, but I told
Girl, where were you from my sister's quince? Because I look back at her pictures and there's probably like fleeting random background pictures of me and mom because it, like you said, we're all around hosting
you.
and doing this and doing that that you forget that you're part of this day also.
I paralyzed everything. I've literally gotten on microphones in the actual venue and have said, "Mom, where are you? I'm looking for you. Someone find mom for me. Thank you. I'm the photographer of today. My name is Natalia, and I am not leaving until I see mom. She needs a picture. Thank you." Click. Like, I am super intentional and crazy because how? How and why? And then when we do the solo portraits before the party, mom is the one in charge and looking a hot mess. So what I started to do, which is actually very beautiful, and I can show you guys my most recent one, I do like a bear where I take out like whatever shirt they have to show just their shoulders, daughter too, and then I put their faces together and I make them close their eyes because mom never has makeup on and she's always subconscious. So I do that one photo, black and white. And when I tell you it is a gorgeous moment, there's always tears because it's so emotional. And it's just exactly what they needed. They maybe didn't want to be in stress or having to glam up and all these things. And it's also pricey to glam up twice. So I get it. So I was like, it's just the pureness of it. It's just you and your daughter. Like, you gave her life, you're her example, you're her mirror. This is a rite of passage day. You have to be captured too. Like, that's not fair. It's not fair to her in 20 years to look at the album that you invested in, that you were intentional on, and you're not in it. That's
Yeah.
not how this works. Like, you have to be part of it and you need to be reminded. And I'm here to remind you. So they always give in eventually, but I give them a chance to glam up so that they don't say that they would look what crazy. But I managed to still make it beautiful and make it very intentional. It's not aesthetic crazy. It's just a moment, and nobody needs to see it. So that's another thing. No one needs to see this photo. You have it for you.
I needed you back in 1995 because
Ah,
Right?
I was in the fifth
that
grade.
was the year that I was born. I was born in May 1995.
Oh,
My
Okay.
girl.
mother has no pictures of her pregnant with me.
Mm,
Oh my
I
God,
mean,
same.
there's 800 million photos of me like fresh out the womb,
yeah. Oh,
but
sucks.
her pregnant with me, not one photo exists.
Where the change? So I bet. Do you have children? Yeah. You don't.
Absolutely not.
Okay. So if you ever decide to have children, then you make sure that they have those pictures. You don't make the mistake twice.
I won't, and I will call you. I
I
know
got
who to
you.
call for my baby shower.
Yes, I got you for
Not
sure.
Ghostbusters, Natalia.
Picture busters.
Picture busters. I love that. Okay,
I,
so I have another question for you. I
yeah,
know, again, we chatted a little bit.
yeah, yeah.
You said that you're currently living in Jersey, but you're originally from New York.
That's right. New York, nowhere.
And you were for, I don't know if it's still current or once upon a time, you were your brother's caretaker for a little bit.
Yes,
Did I get that
still,
right?
still am. Yeah.
Still am.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can you
So
touch on that? Well, first off, where in New York and what made you leave this fabulous city of ours?
The trains made me leave. So my son was gonna start
Felt that.
school, and I couldn't sleep at night. I would get cold sweats thinking that he would take the subway to high school. He was gonna go to Beacon High, which is by Port Authority, and it's an amazing school. Amazing school. He was actually very lucky to get in, but I couldn't do it. I was like, we're gonna have to drive him there, or one of us is gonna have to take the train with him, wait for him to come out and come back. After the pandemic, going back into the workforce and like commuting, I commuted a lot. I saw a lot on the trains and I experienced a lot on the trains. And, even my friends may call me dramatic a little bit, but I'm all right with seeing these things. I know how to anticipate, I know how to get myself out of it. I have been untouched. I've gotten out of every scenario, as bad as it has been. I've always managed to kind of like get around it and get out. I don't think my 15-year-old at the time would have seen or anticipated or known. He probably would have reacted, maybe even had trauma. Like, these kids are just not equipped to see certain things. And we aren't either. We think that we are, but I prefer doing it and enduring it than my child, right?
Yeah.
So before that, actually, there was a fire in my building. So I should have started there. There was a fire in my building. Nothing really happened to us, thank God, knock on wood. We did lose a tenant, and my bedroom was completely destroyed by water. So that kind of took away the sense of security where we were living. And that's when my husband and I decided we need to get out. So
Okay.
that was 2023. By July 2024, we bought this house. It's a two-family in Bergen County. And we have never looked back because we needed to leave. So for all
Yeah.
the other reasons that added together, but New York is still amazing. I just feel like Jersey, for the bang of our buck, was a little bit better. We did look upstate in New York. We looked in different parts of New York as well to see if we're within budget. We just couldn't do it. And we have all of our family in Jersey. So at least I
Uh,
do. All of my cousins, they're all over here. So, and
oh,
we're close.
same.
Yeah, we're close to New York though. We're like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
So,
Bergen's not far at all.
right. So it's a happy medium. We got the space. As far as my kids are opposite sex, so my daughter is 10, and then my son is 16. They have their own rooms now. Coming from the city, we were in a small little matchbox, and we made
Yeah.
it work. And we loved it. We were very happy there. But my daughter is still like, New York or nowhere. I want to go back. And I'm just like, girl, you don't know better, but we're gonna let you live on that.
I mean, if your daughter misses rats.
I told her the same thing, and she's like, "Yes, I do actually." I'm like, "No, you
No,
don't.
she
Stop lying.
doesn't. I
Stop,
promise you, she doesn't.
stop lying."
She really doesn't.
She's just, a girl, and she has to say everything the opposite of mom. That's just how that goes.
Well, good luck.
Thank you. I need it. I so need it. As far as the caretaker, my brother ended up having a really bad fall in 2012. So what happened with him was the beginning of like a really deep depression after some business went left. And then it just morphed from there into a life filled with roller coasters of mental health practices, medication, involuntary hospitalizations. My mom was his base, like his home base, but I am the one that would advocate. So I was the one at the time. It was still 311 where you would call to get information about these things. So I got the system in New York down pat, but because I had to pave that way to find a way to get him help at the time. My mom was, Dominican mom, in denial, did not accept or understand, and she was just like, "No, he's fine." It's like it's like she thought that all he needed was like a wake up call. I'm like, "Mommy, no, he's not fine. His heart is broken, and whatever came with that created an imbalance, and we need to get him fine, and he needs to put his part in order to be fine. This is a process now. It's not just shake it off and get it over with. It's not that. So not to disclose his diagnosis, but it wasn't just a depression. It was more than that at this point. And we didn't know that this was brewing. So the big fallout with the business was just the trigger of everything else. And then that became into a snowball. Then he did great. He got married, had kids, and just a few months ago he had another episode, and now he's under my care for a while until he gets better, because for some reason, so I did a lot of support groups in the beginning, and I learned early on that the sibling is the one that doesn't pity you. And it doesn't matter what it is. So as a mental health, we're actually the best equipped to take care of them because we don't pity them. We don't have a second agenda. We're not dependent of them. So like his wife, this is too much. They have two daughters. My mom, still my mom, that's her baby. So right now I'm the one in charge to make sure that he's doing what he has to do to get himself better. And he's doing amazing. But we started at a really low point because he wasn't well. And now he's getting back and we're getting everything back in order. So God willing, things will just keep getting better. But it's a long uphill battle. It's hugely.
Absolutely.
We've been doing this since 2012, and we're at what 2025?
Almost 2026.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, thank you for being you, and stepping up and being his advocate. Because, like you said, like mom is not, well, moms in general, they're most times are not gonna accept or be knowledgeable about those things. And I think you're right about the sibling aspect. I really thought of it that way. So that's awesome.
Yeah. They told us that in the group. I forgot what the name of the organization was. Was it NACA? NAC NACAS, I feel like it is. It stands for a whole bunch of other things. But we went out to the spot in Westchester, New York, and it was amazing
Okay.
because you had every walk of life. You had the elder parents with their child that wasn't well, and they're concerned that they're gonna pass, and who's gonna care for them now. Their child was not independent and couldn't groom himself and things like that. Then you had the couple where the wife just didn't know what to do with the husband who was not feeling well. And then you had me and my mom, and then you had people of all walks of life. And that's when they told us about the sibling thing. And I was like, that makes so much sense. Because I've never said poor him. I don't pity him at all. I know he'll get back up. I hold him accountable to get back up. My expectation is that he will get back up. And so far he gets back up and he does his thing. And he's good. It's just that in that world, the medication after a while, it just doesn't do what it was doing. So you have to stay on top of that and like know
Yeah.
those things. And now he's at an age where it's a little bit better because now he's in his 40s now and he's taking more responsibility and understanding when things are starting to go left before it gets too bad. But to get here,
I mean, it takes time, but I'm glad that he's doing it.
he is. He is. I'm very proud of him.
And what is the most fulfilling and hardest part of being a caregiver?
Oof. I would say fulfilling. I honestly think of his girls. He has two daughters. So my fulfilling part is when they visit him and they see him smiling and like being the dad that they know and like seeing the future of him like walking down the aisle with them and like the sweet 16 with them. So my fulfillment is almost like the future. It's almost like something that I can't reach yet and that's what I work towards. And then what was the other one?
What is the most rewarding
Rewarding.
and hardest part?
So the rewarding part is the future, I feel, and also the present because I see it real time. And the hardest part is the beginning. So when there's miscommunication because he's not seeing things the way that they are, or like, getting that process started again. And then also the fear from when he gets better and for like, how do I put it? So as he's getting better, when he's independent. So let's say when he's out of my care now, when he graduates out of my house, that fear of getting that phone call that he went backwards, that's the fear. You're never able to just relax. It's never a finite, this is a solution. There's always that little, is he okay? How are things? And it's not that you have to check in and like be overbearing, but that little reality check every once in a while, like when you think things are going too well, the other shoe's gonna drop type of thing. That fear I feel like is the fear of all. Like that's what I normally can't shake.
And I would say that's a common experience for caregivers because sometimes caregivers are so used to having to pick up the pieces
Mhm.
that they're always waiting for the other shoe to drop when things are good.
Yeah, and then it comes with selfish rage on that too. You don't want to be that person every time. Like you do also want to break. But then you also know you're the one person to do it. No one else is gonna do it.
Well, speaking of break, you're a caregiver, you're a photographer, you're living your best life. You're also a mom, you're a wife. You wear many hats. So how do you take care of yourself?
Of myself, that's a long story. So, so I started with bariatric surgery in 2018. That's when I said I need to stop the world and I had to take care of myself because I already had my daughter. She was 2. I had gained all this weight from coping and the stress, and I was like, I don't feel like myself anymore. So that was my reality check in 2018. So ever since then, I hope to make it a common practice. I try very much to do something for myself every once in a while. Like I like alone time, so I'll disappear for a little bit, even if it's for a few hours, every once in a while. Photography is my me thing. That's when I have my photo shoots. I go an hour before and I stay an hour later. Like I take my day to do my shoots. When I edit, that's also me time. I tell the kids I gotta edit. I schedule my time as much as I can into my crazy world because you have to do it. There's no not doing it because if you don't, then you fall apart and then everything else is what. So that's how I do it. I'm also very bougie. I like to go to the salon. I like to do my hair. I do my own hair too. I do it. I do it. I try. Some days I would say some weeks and months it's a little seldom, less than I would like. But I do try. I do try. And I like to see my girls. I like to see my cousins, my friends. We chat, text message. I try. I try. And then I sometimes just isolate too. Like sometimes I'm overstimulated. And I'm good at identifying those things now. I feel like as we get older, it's just so much more clearer. Because before you'll be overstimulated, you didn't know what was going on and you were trying to find like a fix. Now I know what my fixes are. I know when I'm overstimulated or what I need at that point. I know when I need stimulation, that I've been too isolated for too long. I mean, I think once you're in the mental health world, you kind of it rubs off on you. You take certain tools that you hear for your care, taker
Yeah.
care.
I love that you've learned to identify all of those things because, like you said, it takes time to learn that.
It does, and you don't ever take care of yourself. You really don't. People just you just don't. And I've learned since my surgery. So this was the awakening for me. There was an evaluation, a mental evaluation, and they were like, "Can you tell me in a few words why you think you gained all this weight?" The answer was so automatic, it kind of like came out vomit. I was like, it's because of my brother's hair. And I was like, oh my God, that was so good. It felt like a weight just lifted off. I was like, oh, yes. And then after that was when I realized I'm doing too much, but too little for me. And what happens if I'm no longer? Then that's even worse because then what's going to happen to them? So then I just, took control of myself and my life too. Try to.
I I love that. I love that I mean, I don't love the fact that you had to go through so much to realize that you needed to care for yourself, but I'm happy to know that you are in the space to feed your soul. You
Yes.
water yourself to also make sure that you also grow, and
Yes.
you do the same thing for your loved ones, and that's amazing. So thank you so much for everything that you do for families and quinces and baby showers and your brother and your kids and your entire family. You truly are someone who is born to help others create memories.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. And speaking of creating memories, the best question of the evening is what is your favorite French fry?
Ooh. There was this restaurant with, is there types of French fries or can I just
Girl,
restaurant?
just say it all. We love French fries here.
Okay. Yeah. French fries and feelings. Yes. So I used to love this little fast food place that's called Ranch One. Are you guys familiar with it? Ranch One. It was like
I have never heard of that.
Oh my God, Ranch One on 18th Street.
there was one there. There was one there.
Oh,
There was
they
also one.
had the best chicken tenders with barbecue sauce.
Yes, their barbecue sauce was epic.
It was so good.
How
So
Wait,
have I never heard of this place?
it was
it
like in
doesn't
the
exist
early
anymore.
2000s. It doesn't exist anymore. I think there was one in New Jersey.
It was in the Garden State Mall.
Yeah, but it was the best. It
It
truly
was
was the best.
so their French fries because they were like a compromise of like soggy and crispy. Those are my favorite. Hmm. And the ones that are kind of similar are from Five Guys. Do you guys know Five Guys, the burger spot? I'm a
I do
foodie.
know Five Guys.
Yes. It's because they're like natural cut potatoes.
Yes. So I
Same
like
same
natural.
thing with Ranch One. They were natural cut.
And
Ah,
they were
I'm
really
really
good.
Googling it right now.
Uh-huh. Ranch one. My favorite was like they had like a chicken burrito type of situation. That was my
Ooh,
favorite. The with the fries. It was so good. It was like a chicken wrap, but for me it looked like a burrito. It wasn't a taco spot. It was like Chick-fil-A without the friedness. Everything was grilled.
ooh.
Mhm. It was so good. I was always a little fatty, so I was always looking for like the healthier version of things to have fun if I was out eating, and those fries will forever be my favorite.
I'm
Well,
literally looking it up.
please do. And I unfortunately I can't ask Ranch One to sponsor us because they're gone. But if you ever return Ranch One, please sponsor us and bring back the chicken tenders and barbecue sauce.
It was so good, so good. They were definitely my favorite chicken tenders too. I'm very picky with chicken tenders, and I don't like too breaded. Yeah.
Well, there's two in Jersey, one in Patterson and one in Woodland Park.
Ranch one
Yep.
road trip.
Girl, pick me up at the bridge.
I got you. Picking you up.
Well, next episode, we're going to Ranch One.
It's so good. You're gonna love it.
Well, thank you so much, Natalia.
Thank you for having me.
Tell everyone where we can find you on social media, website, uh, you know, give yourself the
All the things.
All the things. So on social media and Instagram, you can find me at N Photography, all one word, the letter N Photography. Then on TikTok, it's kind of new there, so bear with me in my feed. It's at N Photography Studio in TikTok. And then my website is nphotography.mypixieset. Just go through Instagram. It's easier. Just click. It's on the bio.
Sounds good to us. Thank you again for joining and chatting and dealing with our very loud puppies at this late hour.
All
Yes,
good. Thank you for
my
having
loud
me.
puppy is currently biting on my hand for attention.
Oh my goodness. It needs
She's a
mama
she's a baby.
or treats.
Or both.
Mm. I don't have a dog, but I hope so. I want a cavapoo.
Oh, I have a golden doodle. Please do it.
Yes, aren't they delicious? Oh.
They are little fried chicken babies. But thank you so much for your time and for everything that you do. Everyone who's listening, please make sure to check out Natalia on all her social media. And thank you for sharing a piece of your life with us.
Thank you for having me.
I'll
Okay.
think of you every time I take a picture.
Yes, please.
Very good.